Hi, welcome to Dominico Field on a sunny Sunday afternoon here at the pits. Jesse Hodges is taking the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs, getting his first action on the mound, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers are going to play their second game in Inter-County Baseball League history, and the first time we're seeing the dark-colored pinstripe uniforms of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers as well this year, as this is their first game on the road. I'm Thomas West alongside Gus Cousins on color commentary today. Gus, this should be an interesting one with Jesse Hodges on the mound. Obviously a guy who did not come up through the minor leagues, playing affiliated baseball with the Chicago Cubs as a pitcher, but we saw him try it out last year and it went pretty well.
It did. It went amazingly well. He pitched for the Leafs in 3 games heading into, or exiting, I should say, the 2023 season, and then had a start in the playoffs as well. It'll be his first outing here in 2024. The Leafs are a little bit thin on the pitching side of things today, so they're hoping he can give them a good few innings at the very least before they turn it over to the bullpen. And he's facing a team that, quite frankly, almost nobody has seen up until this point in the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And we'll see what they can bring. They're 1-0. They won their first game against Kitchener, and we know where the Leafs are at, and it'll be a good one to see a measuring of where each team stands early on in the season after this one.
Spencer Marcus is going to lead things off for Chatham-Kent, one of their top players, a guy who was really good playing at the Division I level last season, I guess for the last 3 years, a .329 batting average with Niagara University, and most importantly to Chatham-Kent fans, hometown boy as well, Spencer Marcus. That pitch from Jesse Hodges is low and in the dirt. And the third pitch well outside from Jesse Hodges, so behind in the count to Spencer Marcus. Marcus was 1 for 5 in the Chatham-Kent home opener, which they won last night, as Hodges finds the outside corner for a strike. They won the game 5-3, playing against the Kitchener Panthers. And what a way to start off your Inter-County Baseball League career as a team, getting that 5-3 win. The pitching was great. Aiden Ryan took the mound, was excellent for Chatham-Kent, went 5 innings, didn't allow a run. And Robert Mackey, who is a two-way player, came in to close out the game. Looked like he was having some control issues early on, as there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Good start to the season for Jesse Hodges. But he settled down quite nicely, got the save, and Chatham-Kent won their first game in the IBL.
Yeah, and in the eyes of Robert Mackey, I mean, it's his 3rd IBL team in 3 years. He was with Welland and then London, and now he's here with the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And he's one of the very few players that we've seen be relatively successful with both the bat and on the mound, as we talk about Hodges today.
Dan Battelle is another guy that came over from London. He came with Robert Mackey. He's in the 3-hole this afternoon, as he was yesterday. This is Miles Norman, and he hits one on the ground. That one's gobbled up at first base by Jordan Castaldo. And that's out number 2. Great start here for Jesse Hodges, as he's quickly got the first 2. The defense for the Toronto Maple Leafs today in the outfield, Ryan Dos Santos is playing left field. Marcus Connect is in center. That's a guy that the Maple Leafs are really excited to see his bat in the lineup. Greg Carrington out there in right. Hodges delivers strike 1 to the aforementioned Dan Battelle. On the infield is John Solazo at third base, Jose Vinicio at short. Dan Mara is at second base, who collected hit number 400 in his IBL career last game he played. That was against the Barrie Baycats. Jordan Castaldo at first, and Justin Mara is catching Hodges. It's the lefty Battelle facing the righty Hodges, and he finds the outside corner. Ball and 2 strikes.
And this is something we saw a lot last year. Hodges jumping ahead early on these hitters, not giving them a whole lot to work with, and then mixing in that curveball, something he's done very effectively so far.
The 1-2 is up high. Jesse Hodges throws hard. He's got a great arm from playing third base in the minor leagues. Also made some appearances for Team Canada as well, which is a big bonus in the IBL when you get a really good player, and he's Canadian, because you don't have to use one of your 4 import spots. That's going to be increasing to 5 next year.
One of the very few Canadians who had a hit off of Shohei Ohtani in International League play.
Yeah, I heard that on a podcast the other day. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jesse Hodges strikes out Dan Batelli, gets 2 in the inning. And the Maple Leaf bats are coming up after a quick 1-2-3 inning by Jesse Hodges. Well, back here at Dominico Field, where Jose Vinicio is set to lead things off, and he's going to face a tough lefty in Ken Williams on the mound for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Ken Williams, a lefty, so that's going to be tough against the lefty-heavy Toronto Maple Leafs lineup. And also a guy who occupies one of the import spots on Chatham-Kent. And obviously, as we mentioned, just 4 of those in the IBL, so a coveted spot on any IBL team. It's the 1-0. It's up high.
Yeah, he's one of a handful of super young guys that the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have brought on in their inaugural season, loaded with rookies.
And they got some local players on the team as well, and some guys from the surrounding area, and that's something I think they're proud of as well. So that one's in there for a strike. Jose Vinicio was taking all the way.
Yeah, 6 guys on their opening day roster were born and raised in Chatham, Ontario. So they got some local guys for sure.
Vinicio draws the walk and instantly a speed threat on the base path for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So this is the veteran Jordan Castaldo coming out for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Castaldo back for another season in the Inter-County Baseball League. And he is an important bat for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the lineup. Off to a little bit of a slow start, but he has walked 3 times in his first 14 plate appearances. Jordan Castaldo can get on base with the best of them in the IBL.
Yeah, he's somebody they really want to get going at the top of the order. And like you said, he's walked, but he hasn't hit the ball a whole lot to start this year, and he's a very important piece at the top of the Leafs lineup.
Castaldo puts one on the ground foul towards the right side.
And a pretty consistent hitter at that throughout all of his years. Low 300s guy. He's consistently put up great at-bats, and like you said, he'll walk all the time. But just getting that power back, getting that opposite field power, especially that he's shown plenty of times going, is very important.
Vinicio, a delayed steal, and he's going to take second base. No one was really covering for Chatham-Kent. And that's actually the second time in the last 3 games that the Maple Leafs have pulled off a delayed steal. It was, I believe, Justin Mara who did it in Barrie, and he barely got in there safely, but Jose Vinicio saw that pitch in the dirt and just decided to go. Chatham-Kent wasn't expecting it. He's in scoring position for a good RBI guy in Castaldo. Castaldo pops one up. This one's on the infield and it looks like it's going to be playable. It's the first baseman, Sillett, who comes in and calls off the catcher right away. And that's out number one. Boy, that was getting hairy on the infield because it was perfectly between almost everybody who was in play to catch that baseball. And it's Sillett who comes in and makes the catch, the first baseman.
Yeah, it's a sunny day here at the pit. It's a high sky. It was a high pop-up. And, you know, that's the type of swing that we've seen a lot out of Castaldo early on. Is just getting under it and elevating the ball, but elevating it straight up, not putting that power on it into the outfield.
So this is Marcus Connect, and this will be his first at-bat at Dominico Field since a couple years ago. Throw down to third base. Vinicio with a swim move, and they got him. Jose Vinicio looked like he had a great jump towards third base, and it was almost a perfect throw by Mitzi Fukuda, who's the catcher for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and he nails the steal attempt at third base, and that is not what you want to be doing with Marcus Connect, one of the most dangerous hitters in the Maple Leafs lineup, at the plate. As Connect swings through it, it's 1-1.
And it's a little bit of a microcosm for how the Leafs offense has been going. They have not been scoring runs at any prolific pace in these first 3 games. It's something that not a lot of people thought would be a major concern. And it may not be as the season goes along, but through these first 3 games, there has been a whole lot of anything going. Just 2 hits yesterday.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's the first IBL strikeout for Ken Williams. And the Toronto Maple Leafs get a runner on, but he gets thrown out at third base. That was Jose Vinicio, so a relatively clean start to the game for Toronto in Chatham-Kent. So what you just saw there was Dan Mara, and that was hit number 400. That happened just a couple nights ago in Barrie, and boy, he's put together a really good IBL career, playing second base for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Always a guy that's going to be right around the 300 mark, not above it, in an IBL season, and 400 hits in the IBL now for Dan Mara.
Yeah, he's the epitome of a contact hitter on this Leafs team, hitting it to all parts of the ballpark.
Seth Strong tomahawks a ball foul there down the right field line. And Seth Strong is in the history books for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Drilled a home run to right field in yesterday's game. It was the first run, first homer in Chatham-Kent baseball history, at least for the Barnstormers. And he's a guy who's going to bring some good power. He's hitting in the 4 spot for this Barnstormers lineup. It's a 3-1 from Hodges. And it's up high, ball 4, so Strong is aboard.
Yeah, and looking at some of these stat lines from these guys that the Barnstormers have pulled out of university and college, I think they're a sneaky, powerful team with what I've seen and how they've swung, even if it's just the first game. They are not the pushover that everyone seems to think they are.
Here's a ground ball to first base. Jordan Costello is going to scoop it up. He'll wait for the batter running down the first baseline to get the out. That was Braxton Hageth, the left fielder. That's going to bring up the first baseman, Trent Sillett, and another guy from the Chatham-Kent area from London, Ontario. Sillett had a good day at the plate as well yesterday. A couple RBIs, was 2 for 4 in the game, so how about 500 in your IBL career? Love to add on to it here against Jesse Hodges, and he's got an opportunity to get another RBI as well. He's got a runner out there at second base. That's Seth Strong, and the first pitch is in there for a strike from Hodges. So Jesse Hodges, he's a 3-pitch pitcher. He'll throw a good fastball, and he had a curveball at the beginning of last season, but from what I understand, it kind of developed into a slider last year, and a changeup, as most pitchers have as well. But Jesse Hodges will get that fastball up, if not 90 miles an hour, very close to it. And that good velocity comes from his days of playing third base in the minor leagues. When Jesse Hodges is not pitching, he'll usually find himself in left field for Toronto. First pitch to Sillett, or second pitch I should say to Sillett, is up and away 1-1.
And we've seen it a couple times already with Hodges. There's nothing better that a pitcher can use than a hard, high fastball. To me, I will die on the hill, that is the best pitch in baseball. We see it again right there to get ahead of him 1-2. It's something that a lot of pitchers, when they know how to use it well, it's such an effective pitch to put people away, get ahead in counts.
Especially with the big wall out there in the outfield as well. Those fly balls are not going to go out to right field quite as often now at Dominico Field. And, I mean, we've seen some examples of good hard high fastballs too, especially ones that come in really flat. Look at Davey Mendez on the Welland Jackfish.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. He's the prime example of it.
And the interesting thing is that guys with that affiliate ball experience seem to hit that fastball a lot better. I look at a guy like Justin Mara, and I think Justin Mara might be the best hitter against Davey Mendez out of anybody else in the IBL. He loves to hit that high fastball, even though he says he doesn't. But we saw him just tomahawk one off the wall off of Davey Mendez last year. And this one's popped up on the infield. It's Dan Mara who goes out. He's camped under it and goes back and makes the catch for out number 2. Some other guys who have had success against Davey Mendez or just the flat fastball in general is Marcus Connect, who is a 3rd-round draft pick of the Toronto Blue Jays and played quite a bit in affiliate baseball, and Jordan Castaldo, who played a little bit in the Frontier League as well. Both of those guys have hit home runs off of that flat Mendez fastball.
Yeah, another common theme with those guys, they're all veterans. They're all...
Yeah.
They've been around the block.
Hodges delivers strike 1 to Robert Mackey. Closed out the game on the mound after playing second base for Chatham-Kent last night. He's back at second base again today. Was 0 for 3 at the plate in the game last night. 0-1. On the ground to first, Castaldo gobbles it up and steps on first base for the out. How about Jesse Hodges? A couple pretty good innings. It's still 0-0 between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. The bats of the Leafs coming up. Well, it's John Solazo at the plate for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tied a franchise record in Maple Leafs history with 48 RBIs last season. But unfortunately, John, things aren't going to get any easier again for you today because you're facing another tough lefty, which has been a theme against the Maple Leafs lineup so far this season. Here's the 0-1 from Williams, and Solazo swings right through it. They started off by facing Victor Payano for the London Majors, and he looks like he is going to be real good. London pitched him in each of their first 2 games. In fact, London in their first 2 games only used 2 different pitchers. They went with Payano and Arias, and then Arias and Payano. And then they had to face another tough lefty in Frank Garces when they're playing against the Barrie Baycats. So this is a tough start to the year for the Maple Leafs lefties, and I think it speaks a lot to the offensive woes early in the season for Toronto as well.
Yeah, they are getting their looks. They are getting their looks, and it's something that's going to be a theme all season long. Any team that really wants to attack the Maple Leafs, you look at their lineup, you say 4, 5, 6 guys on any given day that are all lefties, and that's their weak points.
1-2, swing and a miss. Ken Williams gets Solazo on a nasty breaking ball.
And that's something we've seen a lot too in their last 2 games. 15 strikeouts last game. On Thursday they had 16. There's a lot of swing and miss in their bats right now, and that has a lot to do with facing lefties every other day, it seems. But that's also contributing to the lack of offense right now.
And that's not going to be the case all season for the Maple Leafs. They are going to face their righties. This is a big case of tough start to the season-itis in terms of the schedule. And, you know, the home opener, that was on May 12th, and then no one had to play again for 4 or 5 days. In fact, nobody even played for 4 days afterwards.
Yeah.
So you have the luxury of pitching pretty much whoever you want. Another slow breaking ball from Williams, and that had Justin Mara way out in front. So the Maple Leafs, they're going to face their righties, but early in the season, teams have a lot easier time matching up. This one's flared into the outfield here by Justin Mara, and 2 outfielders collide. The catch is made, but a miscommunication in the outfield there by Braxton Hageth and the center fielder Miles Norman, and Norman was the one who took the brunt of that. But he's back to his feet, trotting back to his position in center field. Looks like they're okay.
And it seems like a relatively harmless fly ball right off the bat. It sliced way to the left. Like, we can see the wind blowing out there. It was cutting away to the right side of the center fielder there, and it's a dangerous play when 2 outfielders come remotely together. Nobody likes that, much less them. We've seen some high pop-ups and fly balls so far today.
So this is Jesse Hodges, the pitcher, at the plate, and if you're wondering, the Shohei Ohtani rule is in effect today with Jesse Hodges on the mound. So Hodges is both the DH and the pitcher, occupying both of those positions. So when Jesse Hodges comes out of the game pitching, he will still be in the lineup as the designated hitter. So it doesn't mean that the Maple Leafs lose their DH. So that's a big positive for them, because as valuable as Hodges is on the mound, they're expecting him to be just as valuable at the plate as well. And as we mentioned, there's some much needed righty bats in this Maple Leaf lineup. Hodges pops this one up, and it's the second baseman, Robert Mackey, and he drops the baseball. It falls into the outfield. Looked like he was struggling with the sun all the way, and Jesse Hodges is aboard with what will surely be charged as an error on Mackey.
And what were we just talking about, Thomas? Sky-high fly balls and pop-ups. It's a high sky, it's a sunny sky, and we're going to see it with the Maple Leafs, I'm sure, too. Jesse Hodges gives up his share of fly ball outs. It is not nearly as easy with the wind blowing like it is.
So Dan Mara at the plate, back in the lineup. Didn't play against the Guelph Royals in the Maple Leafs loss. They're 0-3 on the season, which is something I don't think a lot of people thought, as this one's hit on the ground. This is the third baseman, Dan Patel, goes the short way to second base to get the sliding Jesse Hodges. Both pitchers looking strong early on. Ken Williams with another good innings. 0-0 between the Toronto Maple Leafs and Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Oh, welcome back to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube, which is brought to you by NMP, National in Scope, Local in Focus. NMP is one of Canada's leading professional services firms, proudly serving individuals, businesses, and organizations since 1958. So Vaselnik is going to lead things off against Jesse Hodges, who's out for his third inning of work. Hodges 0-1 is up and away, 1-1. Torin Vaselnik comes out of Lethbridge, Alberta, played in the WCBL Summer League with Lethbridge last season in 2023. He's also played a bit in the NCAA with Arkansas. Hodges ahead in the count, 1-2. Vaselnik skies one in the air. Dan Mara's going to have to deal with the sun here, but he's under it and makes the catch. One away. We just witnessed Jose Vinicio make a fantastic diving play up the middle. And looking for a second one there, but that one gets into center field. So a runner on here for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Back to the top of the order, or that was the top of the order there, and Spencer Marcus collecting his second hit. And now it's Miles Norman at the plate. So 3-1 the count now in Miles Norman. 0 for 1 in the game thus far. Top of the third inning, Jesse Hodges trying to get out of a jam with a runner in scoring position. Dan Battelle is on deck, hopeful of an at-bat. Here comes a big 3-2 pitch from Hodges, and it's on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Jesse Hodges gets a big punch out to get himself out of the inning. To the bottom of the third we go, 0-0 between the Leafs and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Now by Charlie Towers from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Charlie, I know you're brand new here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Can you give me some perspective on what it's like being on a new team and what it's like playing for the Leafs?
Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun so far. The group of guys is amazing. Everyone's been super cool. There's obviously a lot of talent on this team, and the coaches like Rob and Jordo and Sam have been awesome. So I'm really enjoying it so far.
So I'm wondering, how did this all come to be? How did you end up here with Toronto Maple Leafs?
Well, I was on Hamilton last year, had a couple injury issues, and I guess they decided they wanted to go another direction. So I'm definitely happy with the way it worked out. I think it's a good situation here. I love playing here, and I can't wait to get our shot to play against them.
Hey Charlie, you've been a journeyman for the Maple Leafs on the infield and on the outfield. You've already played 3 different positions. What's that been like? Has that been a challenge for you?
It's fun. Playing left field the other night was definitely interesting. I don't think I've done that since I was like 11 years old, but I got one in the first inning, so it kind of settled me down a little bit. I had Santos and Carrington out there helping me out, so it's fun, man. I like moving around. I think it provides value, and I just like to be in the lineup wherever I am.
You're playing a team today that is going to be a lot. Oh, Ryan Dos Santos lays down a bunt to lead off the inning, and he is aboard. It was a perfect one right down the line. So a guy who stole 2 bases in the game against Guelph, so good speed for the Maple Leafs on first base. That was Charlie Towers, who you just heard from there between innings. Charlie Towers, a new player on this Toronto Maple Leafs team, and a guy who can probably relate to what almost every player in the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers is going through right now, trying to gel with your new teammates. But Charlie's saying that everyone's been very welcoming and open to him, and he is a fantastic defender. Another bunt laid down right back to the mound. Williams is going to go to second with it, and he's safe. Ryan Dos Santos slides in safely at second base on a very close call. And I don't know about you, Gus. I thought that Williams made the right play trying to get the runner at second base, but Dos Santos just beats it out.
Absolutely he did. 10 times out of 10, if it's a bunt hard right back to you on the mound and there's a runner going from first to 2, you turn and fire that thing. And that Williams made the exact right play there. I thought he maybe sort of kind of got him by about half a step. I'm sure you probably agree with that, but the Leafs aren't going to complain. They got 2 men on. And I wouldn't be shocked to see if Vinicio wanted to lay one down here to try to get him over.
And he will. Squares the bunt, but he pulls the bat back.
Why mess with something if it's working? Like, you got 2 men on base, one a bit iffier than the other, but
who's the iffier one? If you don't know, Gus knows Greg Carrington very well.
Yes.
Bunt is in the dirt. All right, pitch is in the dirt. Vinicio squaring to bunt again. The Maple Leafs are creating havoc on the infield right now, trying to get something going against Ken Williams, and it has worked so far. Vinicio at the plate, 0-2. Williams now having to split his attention between the runners at first. He's got infielders in. Vinicio is ahead in the count, 2-0. He's squaring to bunt. He gets it down, and it's going to bounce to the backstop. Benicio hit that one right off the corner of home plate, I think.
If I were the Maple Leafs right now, with the way that Venicio's been swinging to start the year, the Barnstormers clearly still think he's going to bunt. I'd pull him back and have him swing away, rip one right down the first baseline. They're not going to do it.
Squaring to bunt, he plays a beautiful one down to third base. Throw to first is in time on the tag. It was actually offline, but Trent Sillett came back and got the tag down. Benicio, job well done. Good play by Dan Patel at third. And the Leafs have two in scoring position. Here's Jordan Castaldo.
And this is the exact type of position that the Leafs want to find themselves in more often than not. When they want to get Castaldo going, it's instances like these that are going to get him there. Two runners on, both in scoring position, less than two out. If there's a time to get the bat cooking, it's now.
And Jordan Castaldo is not going to hit 083 this season in the IBL. He's a perennial 300 hitter. Swings and fouls it back. And Castaldo knows his job right now. He's probably going to look at dishing something the other way or a fly ball to the outfield. I'd be surprised to see Jordan Castaldo taking a big hack right here at the plate. Outfield is in as well, by the way, for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. About as far in as I've ever seen. Castaldo takes a breaking ball right over his front hip for strike two. And how about this for a window of opportunity for Williams? An 0-2 count on Castaldo. He would love a strikeout in this situation.
Put it over the left fielder's head. It's something we've seen him do it a ton of times before. Take it the opposite way, drive one.
And he lines it right up the middle, right to the center fielder, Miles Norman. Here comes Ryan Dos Santos. He's going to make it home easily. And Jordan Castaldo, with the veteran approach, does exactly what he's supposed to. He drives in the runner, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have a 1-0 lead.
And just a perfect piece of hitting right there with two strikes. Driving it right back up the middle through the box. Line drive, good swing, and it gets a run home. And that's the beauty of having two super quick guys at the bottom of the lineup. You get the Dos Santoses on, you get the Carringtons on, you get Lewis when he's playing on base. They're like 2, 3, 4 leadoff hitters at the bottom of the lineup. You get them on, and line drives like those, you don't have to hit it that deep. They are hustling it out. Great piece of hitting right there with two strikes from Castaldo.
And they're looking for more now with a good hitter in Marcus Connect. A guy who went on a tear in 2022, especially in the playoffs for the Maple Leafs. In 13 games, 56 at-bats in the playoffs, he hit .446 with 6 home runs and 20 RBIs. This time he hits one high in the air. This one's going to hang up, though, in center field for Norman. He makes the catch. And that will do it for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the bottom of the third inning, but they do cash in a run and now lead Chatham-Kent 1-0. Well, welcome back to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube. Dan Battelle is going to lead things off for Chatham-Kent. Jesse Hodges still on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and pleased to be joined by special guest and GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jeff Lounsbury, who's joining me in the broadcast booth right now. Jeff, how's your start to the summer going?
It's been a little hectic with opening day ceremonies last week,
Yeah.
but
Which I thought went really well.
yeah, we were on time.
Yeah.
I say that to everyone. We were on time. We started that game at 2:15, like advertised. So a lot smoother this week also. So everyone's kind of learning their roles, and a lot of new stuff going on, as we all know. So, but thanks for having me up here, and you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming up. We're excited to get your perspective. I got lots of questions for you. I think Maple Leafs fans will be excited to hear as well. But before we get to that, I mean, Jesse Hodges is rolling right now. He gets Dan Battelle to ground out there. He's getting a lot of soft contact, some strikeouts. Did you expect Hodges to come out of the gates this hot?
Yeah, he did it last year. We just hope, we're just trying to make sure he doesn't need 3 weeks or a month recovery time. So the game plan is to get him out a little earlier this time than we did last year. He felt so good in the bulldog in him last year. He just wanted to keep going. Probably not the smartest move. As you can tell,
Yeah.
Earlier this year, we are very protective of our arms. We don't want anyone going 100 pitches. It's a long play for us. Yeah, you might give up a game here or two in May, but if we're healthy come August, that's our goal. He's doing great though. He's throwing strikes.
Can you kind of recap how this came to be with Jesse Hodges pitching? Because from what I understand, it was kind of just like, I'm going to pitch, this team needs some help on the mound. He just went for it and it worked out.
When we were talking about him about signing a long time ago, he just said to me, he goes, "You know I can pitch too, right?" And I'm like, "No, I did not
Yeah, I've
know
never
that."
seen that, yeah.
And he goes, "It's because he was working in baseball and doing
Yeah.
kids camps and stuff. So he was throwing bullpens, I think just as to keep himself busy. And you know, he hadn't thrown. He said he hadn't thrown since like he was in Pee Wee or Bantam or something like that, right? So it's not like it was something that we knew. But this year we talked about it again, and this is perfect. They come in here and throw 5 innings when we were playing 4 games in 7 days, right at the get-go. It's perfect. We'd like to see them healthy and going.
Yeah, and health is so important, right? Like you mentioned that it's been a bit of a cautious start with the pitchers. We haven't seen anyone go very deep. Obviously, Wilhelmus Alvarado went a bit deeper last time out, but that was
His pitch count was still
second
down,
start.
though.
Yeah, right. Is that kind of indicative with how many pitchers that we're seeing being used right now by the team?
100%. And we want to get everyone involved, know their roles, be part of the team. We had to learn some things too. We had some new guys too, so it would have been nice to get the exhibition game in that we had scheduled before the season started. Unfortunately, that's the day it rained. We got to throw these guys in. Again, at the end of the day in the IBL, if we're 26-16 or 22-20, we're probably going to be facing the same teams in the playoffs. It's going to be tight. We all know how it bunches up in the standings. So I'd rather be healthy, learn some things, and be involved with these guys and have them a chance to play.
Is there any level of worry at all about the 0-3 start, or are you feeling pretty good?
No, we were 4-6 last year, I think, after 10. I'm not that worried about it. Last year we managed to win a few more ball games. We had some pretty good performances from, like, Ryan Burnside threw a really good game in London on a spot start, and Yoshi and JJ Dutton did really good work for us early. Toronto has continuously been a slow starting team. We're an older team. It takes these guys a little while. They're not coming from college. They're not coming from the gyms where they're hitting every day. They're coming from work. And even though we did more indoor stuff than we had in the past, it still shows. Castaldo had a rough start last year. Vinicio had a rough start last year. They'll come around. They're good hitters. And at the end of the day, what happened last year, they both hit 333, and we expect the same thing. So there's no panic. Last year Johnny was really hot to start the year too. So we kind of got lucky and ran that way for a while.
How much of the slow start do you think is also based on the fact that you have faced some MVP caliber lefties to start the season?
Yeah, schedule hasn't done us a lot of favors, but that's everyone's going to face it. We played 4 games, and there's one there.
John Solazo high and deep. Does it have enough to clear the fence? Yes, it does.
You can just hear it. I knew it was gone before, just by the sound.
That is the first home run of the season for John Solazo and the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Jeff, that conductor celebration coming around third base probably feels pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, these guys will come around. We're not panicking. Yeah, it'd be great to be 3-0 or 2-1, but it's a long season. They're a veteran group. They know what's got to get done. They know they can be better. I'm happy with the pitching. We're giving up 4 or 5 runs, and in this league, if you're giving up 3, 4 runs, you're going to win more often than not. We have faced some tough guys because we're facing everyone's home opener, it seems. But they're good pitchers, and we got to beat them at the end of the day. So.
The last time you were in the booth, John Solazo hit a home run.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Then you need to bring me up more often.
I'm thinking about that right now. Yeah, I think we do, especially when Solazo is at bat. So now this is Mara at the plate for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Catcher Justin Mara facing Williams, who's given up 2 runs now. Joined by Jeff Lounsbury in the booth, GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jeff, I know that this isn't the full team yet, right? Like there's still some guys that you're waiting on in the wings?
Yeah, we got 2 college kids. Chialtis is just finished at Doane University. He's on his way home now. He's probably in a car, actually. And Cole Murchison, his team made it to the NAIA playoffs, so he's still playing. Like last year, we had Aiden McCaskey and come in a little late from school and stuff like that. That's Cole's. Cole's going to kind of replace Aiden and J.J. Dutton. So hopefully he's here soon. And I gave other guys opportunity to play. So, we got to learn.
Strikeout there for Ken Williams, third of the day on Justin Mara. So that's going to bring the pitcher Jesse Hodges to the plate. Angel Castro, I know, is another guy that the team's very excited to have, and I'm hearing he's getting close.
Yeah, Angel is in Oklahoma right now. So his 14-year-old or 12-year-old kid is at a camp kind of thing and doing some baseball stuff in Oklahoma. So the 2 of them just flew into Oklahoma on the weekend.
High fly ball and
nice
catch made.
Nice catch.
In the outfield. All right, Jeff, we'll let you get back to watching the game. Thanks so much.
Right. I'll finish the inning off here. There's only 2 outs.
Oh, sure, yeah, we got 2 outs. Okay, that's good because I have more questions for you as well. Marcus Connect, I know he's back in the lineup. How important is it to have a righty to break up some of those lefties?
Garrett, we noticed that last year. Garrett helped us a lot that way by breaking up all the lefties.
Yeah.
When we get Hodges and Marcus in the lineup at the same time, we're not so left-handed heavy. And that'll make a huge difference in the long run. We just see Marcus going. He was hurt. He had a burn on his hand from an oil grease fire kind of thing on his hand. So he has just made himself ready to go. He'll get better as the year goes. He's a professional hitter. He's great in the clubhouse. I expect a big year from Marcus once he gets going.
How weird was it to play against Garrett Takamatsu last time out?
You know what? There's a lot of movement in the league.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really, there's no ill feelings. Of course,
Right.
Garrett, we're doing what Garrett wanted to do, and we're supportive of that. Oh, what we got here? Oh, another nice play. 2 nice defensive plays in a row there by Chatham.
In time, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers will limit the damage, but John Solazo does hit the home run. So now we say thank you very much, Jeff.
I just want to say hi to my wife, who's at home watching the game right now. She's loves you guys, Thomas. You're her favorite. You always make her laugh, so keep up the good work.
All right, thank you so much. Jeff Lounsbury in the booth. We'll take a quick break and be right back. It's Toronto Maple Leafs baseball on YouTube.
Welcome back. We head to the top of the 5th. Junior Valdez is on the mound for the Leafs as he fires the first pitch fastball outside for a ball. Hodges goes 4 great shutout innings, and now we turn it over to the bullpen. And that pitch is hammered to center field. It'll hang up for Marcus Connect. He's under it, he makes the catch, and there's quickly one away for Valdez.
So once again, the Toronto Maple Leafs with a cautious approach in their first time sending a pitcher to the mound. This time it was Jesse Hodges. I'm assuming you recapped that while I was away?
I did, in fact. Although we can do it again if you'd like to.
I don't want to.
He was so good we can talk about it twice.
He did have a very good start. And that was just like he started his first IBL game last season as well. I believe he went 5 in that start. This one's hit to left field pretty well. It's back to the wall, and it's gonna one-hop the wall in the outfield. Robert Mackey cruises into second base, and he has a 1-out double.
And that was just a hanging curveball that Mackey sat on and destroyed from Valdez. It hung up, and that's what you get when you hang a curveball like that. A professional hitter's going to take it to the fence.
Last time Julian Valdez pitched here at Dominico Field, he was very, very close to getting through a clean outing. In fact, that was his last outing. It went an inning and 2/3. Walked the first 3 batters. As this one gets to the backstop, that's going to allow Robert Mackey to advance to third base. It's Vaselnik who's at the plate. He walked his first 3 batters, and then an error at second base with 2 outs was what allowed a run to score. So he's given up just the 1 earned run on, or he's given up 3 runs, but just 1 of them earned, as 1 came in via the error. And I think that would have been a big confidence boost for Julian Valdez as well if he could have got through that outing scoreless, because he pitched well, except for the first 3 batters, but nearly able to get out of it. Needless to say, Julian Valdez has the stuff. If he can find the zone, he'll be successful.
Absolutely. He's one of those guys where when he gets wild, he gets really wild. But other than that, he has a hard fastball. He has a better than average break and pitch. When he's on his game, he's really on. He just hasn't found it quite yet.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
One final thought on Robert Mackey, his double there.
Yeah.
Not known to be a super prolific hitter in the IBL, he's now 5 for 7 lifetime against the Leafs with 4 extra base hits.
Wow.
He is a bit of a Leafs killer.
And he is going to be a very valuable asset to Chatham-Kent this season. He's pitched, I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'd say about 30 innings in his Inter-County Baseball League career, so he's proven himself on the mound. Pitched a pretty good inning last night as well, and he's a good hitter, and he's going to play second base. I mean, he is somewhat of the Jesse Hodges of the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Julian Valdez finds the outside corner, strike 3. Vaselnik goes down looking.
100%, and I mean, we're only 1 game in for the Barnstormers, but they used him in the closer's role in their first game, and obviously I would doubt that he's going to pitch today on back-to-back days at the beginning of the season. But if he can become a hard-throwing reliever for them that is in a closer spot, for a new team that's finding a lot of youngsters in particular who have not pitched in the IBL much before, having an IBL vet, so to speak, somebody who's at least pitched a couple years in the league before is a massive boost for them out of the pen.
1-0 here to Mitzi Fukuda. And he takes a strike, it's 1-1. I don't think if there ends up being another expansion team in the Inter-County Baseball League in future years, I don't think you're going to be able to put as good a team together as the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers did to start this season. Sure, there might be a little bit of holes and they might be lacking a little bit of depth. Obviously, we'll see as the season goes on. They're 1-0 to start. But boy, the job that they did recruiting players and having to fill literally every single position on the field is just incredible, what they've been able to put together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've done a heck of a job even just getting their organization up and running. You know, we've the professionalism that we've seen, revamping their stadium down in Chatham. It's been a very fun and exciting team to watch.
Line drive to center field. This one's trouble. It's going to drop into the outfield. That's going to score a run for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And the deficit has been cut in half. The number 9 hitter, Mitzi Fukuda, comes through with an RBI single. Back to the top of the order in Spencer Marcus. With a runner on first base. That's the catcher, Fukuda. Big lead, he's not going. Spencer Marcus fouls off the first pitch.
One of the 6 Chatham-born players on the Barnstormers roster to begin the year.
Yeah, he's a young guy too, 2000 born. 3 seasons at Niagara University, hit .329 in 2022. There's a swing and a miss on a high fastball from Valdez. It's 0-2.
And that's the pitch that he's really got to start working. A hard high fastball. Like I said earlier, not many guys in this league are going to be able to get around on that. Especially, you were just saying how young the roster is and how young Spencer Marcus is. Throw another one right here. Blow it right by him.
0-2. Line drive. This one's into the outfield, and it's caught by Ryan Dos Santos as he had to sprint over. The good speed of Dos Santos makes the catch, and it gets Valdez out of the inning, although the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers add on. They've cut the lead in half for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's 2-1. Ryan Dos Santos is going to lead things off for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Ken Williams still on the mound for Chatham-Kent, has put together a nice outing so far today. Ryan Dos Santos is off to a red-hot start. Came in batting .333 for the Maple Leafs this season. That batting average has gone up after his bunt single in his last at-bat. Maple Leafs got some chaos going on the base path, and it worked out for them in the 4th as that pitch to Dos Santos is low.
Yeah, back-to-back bunts in the number 8 and 9 spots of the lineup. Get on base any way you can, the way the offense is right now.
John Solazo is the guy who's tacked on the go-ahead run for the Maple Leafs, the first home run of the season for Toronto. And who else but John Solazo to get it? And what do you know, he cleared that fence in the outfield.
It's fitting. I was talking to him about it a few weeks ago, about when they were first putting the fence up. And I was asking him, like, well, how's this going to affect your swing? Clearly it hasn't much. He's just going to hit it over it.
Yeah. I talked to John about that too, and I kind of just suggested, why don't you hit the ball the other way? And he just shot that down right away.
If only it were that easy.
It's not going to happen. Check swing by Dos Santos. He did not go. This is a third base umpire, so that's ball 4. And that'll bring Greg Carrington to the plate.
Well, you want to talk about power the opposite way at the top of the lineup. Jordan Castaldo's the guy to do that. I cannot count how many times I've seen him opposite field home runs over the left field wall, which is now a heck of a lot shorter than the right field wall, especially as a lefty power hitter.
Yeah. Hard ground ball. That one's going to get through. Single for Greg Carrington. Ryan Dos Santos is looking for more. He's headed to third. He's out by a mile. And that will be the second out of the inning for Chatham-Kent. And that was an excellent throw from the outfield, right on the money from Spencer Marcus. Yeah, excuse me, that's the first out of the inning, created at third base there.
Heck of a throw from the right fielder there to nail him.
Yeah, Spencer Marcus is an excellent athlete out there. In fact, there's a lot of really good all-around athletes on this Chatham-Kent Barnstormers team. If you might have a better time finding Chatham-Kent Barnstormers stats on Elite Prospects than on Baseball Reference, because they have some pretty good hockey players on their team as well. Catalin Morin is the guy who leads the way in terms of hockey ability on this Chatham-Kent team. He played like 4 years or something of Junior C hockey out in the Chatham-Kent area. And I think he was thinking of playing on the Guelph Royals last season, but ultimately decided to play his overage season, playing Junior C in the PJHL. So if this was a hockey league, the IBL, Chatham-Kent would be a lock for the championship. Jose Vinicio hits one on the ground, played a second just in time to get the out. A little bit of hesitation there by Robert Mackey, but at the end of the day, he made the right decision. Jose Vinicio on first base, and you can bet he'll probably have a go at second, try and get a stolen base and get in scoring position for Jordan Castaldo, who drove in a run in his last at-bat with a fly out to center field.
Yeah, you know Vinicio wants to make up for that throwing out at third base.
Yeah. Yeah, Jose Vinicio stole second, then tried to steal third, but got thrown out in the process. And Maple Leafs had an out and Marcus Connect at the plate. Connect is in the on-deck circle. This time Jordan Castaldo is going to need to find a gap to score Jose Vinicio. Pitch way up and in, although once again the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers are playing way in the outfield.
Yeah, which is surprising, the way the ball's been flying, the way the wind's moving it, the way it's been slicing towards the left field corner, and the way that Castaldo swings. It's a bit...
Castaldo flares one into the outfield. That one is going to fall. Jose Vinicio holds his ground at second base, and it's a bloop single for Jordan Castaldo, and the Maple Leafs have something going with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, he didn't hit it the opposite way, but those are 2 good swings that you like to see out of Castaldo, who, as we've mentioned, has been struggling. A hard line drive, sacked fly in his first at-bat, but a good swing on that ball. And then a little bloopy chopper just over the shortstop's head.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah, I've coined that.
I like that.
A bloopy little chopper?
Yeah. 65 pitches now for Ken Williams. That's 66, and it hits Marcus Connect, who heads down to first base. Oh boy, the bases are loaded with 2 outs for the Maple Leafs, and look who's coming to the plate. It is the conductor, John Solazo, who homered in his last at-bat.
And you look down at the Chatham-Kent bench, and further down their bullpen, some guys moving around. Ken Williams has pitched a heck of a ball game so far. He's gotten some tough luck on a few, but he's done well.
This next at-bat will determine everything. The start of Ken Williams. This could blow things open or end up being a nice day where he gives up 2 earned runs through 5. Solazo hits one in the air. This is a little flare towards third base, but it's in play for Dan Battelle, who makes the catch. And how about that? 5 strong innings for Ken Williams, and it's the Maple Leafs who lead 2-1 over the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. To the top of the 6th inning we go here at Dominico Field. Morin? So just like we saw in the last outing for Julian Valdez, he's going to enter into his 2nd inning of work. He faces Miles Norman, then Dan Battelle and Seth Strong. And the first pitch is popped up to 3rd base, and John Solazo sprints over and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Valdez in the top of the 6th.
And I was mentioning earlier how Robert Mackey has been a bit of a Leaf killer over the last couple seasons. The exact opposite for Dan Battelle. He's only 3 for 15 in his life against, or I should say in 2023 versus the Leafs. They've had his number.
But he was really good for London last season.
He was, yeah.
And put together a 3-something batting average. I think, yeah, 326 in the regular season. Obviously is playing a much bigger role on this team than he did with the London Majors. London wasn't a great team last season. Dan Battelle, you know, he found his way into the lineup a lot. That's what happens when you hit 326. But on this Chatham-Kent team, he's the number 3 hitter. He's a guy who's going to be a very, very vital piece to this lineup. 2-0. Fouled straight back. Battelle got a good cut at that one.
Yeah, he's a veteran guy. He's one of the 4 players that they have that has seen action in the IBL before, and he's seen some substantial action with the London Majors. And he's a nice calming figure, I'm sure, to the rest of these young guys who have not played in this league before.
Yeah. He actually is a veteran guy on this Chatham-Kent team, as that ball is going to get jammed in the backstop. You can see it up in the right corner of your screen there. There we go. 2nd time in as many games at Dominico Field we've seen. It's going. It's moving. There's movement. Oh, maybe not. I get stuck. What I was saying, though, with Dan Battelle, he's born in 2000, so he's not that old, but there's a lot of really young guys and a lot of guys that have no IBL experience on this Chatham-Kent team, so obviously a good voice in the locker room, I'm sure. semi-local as well from London, Ontario. Dan Patella, former Western Mustang in the 2021-2022 season. This time he takes high, ball 4 on the 3-2 pitch from Julian Valdez. So that's going to bring the power-hitting Seth Strong to the plate.
It's worth mentioning, too, now that Hodges is out of the game and Valdez is in his second inning, the Leafs only have 5 guys in the bullpen going into tonight's, or I should say today's game, Valdez being one of them. 2 lefties and 2 righties down there.
Strong hammers a ball foul down the left field line. Well foul, though.
Dean Christides, the rookie, one of the lefties, alongside Adam Mara as the second, and then Chris Nagorski, the veteran, and Max Leno, who we saw the other day make his debut. And that is it.
Dean Christides has the ability to go the multiple innings, went 2 in his last start and was excellent.
Fantastic.
Because Christides also has some interesting baseball experience. He played for Team Greece in the Euros a couple years ago, which I'm sure you would meet some very interesting players playing in international baseball. Leafs have another guy, an Anthony Buonaiuto, who played for Great Britain.
Yeah, they have some guys who've certainly bounced around, whether it be in this country, outside of Canada, in the States, in Europe. A good amount of experience up and down the roster.
Strong way out in front of a breaking ball from Valdez.
Christides, former U of T lefty, one of the best pitchers in the OUA during his time there, that went to Queens, spent a season at Queens alongside Jordan Leishman. Dynamic 1-2 punch for the Gales.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. It's up high, 2-2. Did you play against him?
I was a pitcher, so I didn't get to hit against Christides or Leno, but my team did. We faced Christides when he was a member of the U of T Blues. As you can imagine, he beat us. Because he's pretty damn good.
2-2. Hit in the air to left field. Not particularly deep. Ryan Dos Santos is there. He makes the catch. Greg Carrington, I should say, out there in left. Dos Santos in right. Marcus Connect is out there in center field as well, and he is rocking the flow this year. That's not something we've seen. Obviously, I can appreciate that. Big swing and a miss by Braxton Haggett. In fact, Seth Strong, he's got some good flow going as well.
Yeah, I think you might be top 3, but I don't know if you're 1 or 2, Thomas.
I'm definitely up there, I'll tell you that much. Pitch well outside from Julian Valdez. And Marcus Connect, like, he's really going for it with the flow too, like right down to his shoulders, just like me. There we go. That's a good set of lettuce you got there, Marcus.
Travis Jankowski-esque,
Yeah.
for those who know.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when I saw that shot. That's funny. 1-1. In the dirt, blocked by Justin Mara.
Great block there by Mara. Got a 55-foot breaking ball there that bounced right in front of the plate, right into Mara's chest protector. We've seen over the past couple seasons the Leafs catchers have to do some serious work back there, blocking pitches.
You know, it's not a long way to the backstop either, so you got to be careful with how that ball ricochets, but more often than not, if that ball gets anywhere close to the backstop, the runner is going to be able to advance to second base.
And as we're talking about it, the next pitch fouled right off the left hand of Justin Mara. Taking a beating back there. One of 4 catchers on the active roster for the Toronto Maple Leafs. One of 3 currently in the country.
Line drive off the glove of Dan Mara and into the outfield. The runner's going to come to third base, and it's first and third with 2 outs as Braxton Haggith hammered that one off of Dan Mara's glove, and he did out about all he could, but that was a rocket to second base.
Yeah, 2 inches higher, and he would have come down with that one. But again, another hard-hit ball off of a Valdez offering. We've seen it a lot this year. His hard, high fastball, when he mixes in that good curveball, they're good pitches. It's just that at times it's a little bit predictable when he gets wild and he's throwing balls. You know when the fastball's coming. Sit on it.
Trent Sillett breaks his back. One hopper there to Dan Mara. He's got lots of time to whip it on to first and end the inning. How about Julian Jr. Valdez gets through a scoreless inning for the Toronto Maple Leafs and holds the lead at 1. It's 2-1 Toronto Maple Leafs over Chatham-Kent. Justin Mara is going to lead things off for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Williams back on the mound for a 6th inning of work. He's actually kept the pitch count intact pretty well through that stretch. Delivers high 1-1 to Justin Mara. "70 pitches now for Ken Williams. Mara takes just high, it's 1-2.
And you look down in the Chatham bullpen, double barrel action down there. Sam McKinley on the right. Another one of the youngsters for that Chatham-Kent team. Anthony Pommelwick on the left, also a righty.
Strike 3 called on Justin Mara, another strikeout for Ken Williams. Yeah, you mentioned Sam McKinley. He was a guy that played with St. Clair College and came over with one of his teammates, Brock Whitson, who also plays on the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And he had some pretty good experience with that St. Clair team because they won the OCAA championship 3 years in a row, from 2021 to 2023.
Pretty good stretch.
Yeah, and he was excellent. Had a 3.50 ERA over that stretch as well.
Played with the Tecumseh Thunder 2023 alongside Whitson and also Aiden Ryan, who got the start yesterday, pitched quite well for the Barnstormers.
Jesse Hodges at the plate, so Hodges obviously out of the game, but is still in the game as a designated hitter as he hits this ball on the ground to third base. Gobbled up by Sam Patel, the throw was wild and up the line. It's gonna stay in play though as it bangs off the backstop, but that throw was about 10 feet over the head of the first baseman.
Yeah, it just slipped right out of the hand of Dan Patel there. A nice hop right to him, a two-hopper. And these are the type of plays the Maple Leafs in a close game like this, they have to capitalize on. If Chatham's going to give you men on base for free, you got to take advantage of it. You're struggling offensively. Those things can help you get going, especially with a guy like Dan Mara at the plate.
First pitch is a strike to Dan Mara. Jesse Hodges over there at first base, 1 out. Mara, who collected hit number 400 this week, hit on the ground. Play is to second for 1, back to first, in time double play. Ken Williams plays it perfectly to second base and gets himself out of the inning at just over 70 pitches through 6. The Maple Leafs lead 2-1 over Chatham-Kent. Robert Mackey is leading things off for the Barnstormers here in the top of the 7th inning, and Julian Valdez is back on the mound and delivers a fastball upstairs for strike 1. Julian Valdez got through a good inning of work in the 6th, and he's back out for the 7th. He's throwing 36 pitches to this point. So that one's low. Julian Valdez is going to be an important guy out of the Toronto Maple Leafs bullpen. I was talking to Sam Green before the season, and he said it's guys like Valdez and guys like Julian Tomachko who are going to be so important for the Maple Leafs. And Valdez is looking good in this outing here against Chatham-Kent. Robert Mackey ahead of the count, 2-1. And he takes high. 3-1 now. Julian Valdez does not want to let the leadoff hitter reach, so Robert Mackey might get something to hit here. Fastball count, the 3-1 pitch is low and inside. And Robert Mackey is aboard to lead off the inning.
Yeah, just a fastball, a little bit low, a little bit in. Leadoff man's on. Not the first guy. You hate leadoff walks. Everybody says it all the time. You hate leadoff walks, especially in this part of the lineup. 7, 8, 9. Want to be going right after those guys.
Torin Vasilenic pops the first pitch up, and it's onto the hill.
I will say, for the base runners that Valdez has had to deal with the last 2 innings and in this inning, he's stayed very calm out there. He has not let it get to him. He's minimized the damage. He's done a very good job of taking what's given to him and given up some line drives.
This one's bunted foul, and it pops right back up onto the hill. 2 strikes.
But he's been in some positions that would make other pitchers quite uncomfortable, and he's done a very, very good job of minimizing the moment and staying within himself and getting outs that he's needed to get.
0-2. Up high. 1-2.
As we look down in the Leafs bullpen now, it's Dean Christides just beginning to throw. The tall, lanky lefty. He's had a very good start in his first outing with the Leafs.
And Valdez misses again, so now the count 2-2.
And you look at who's coming up. I can't imagine they'd want Valdez to face 2, 3, 4, 5 in the order once more with the way they've been looking and they've been hitting and how he's been looking.
It'll also be their second look at Julian Valdez too, something that you always want to minimize the amount of times that you see a pitcher, try and change things up.
Yeah, and I mean anybody who actually puts much effort into the whole, well, lefty-lefty matchup, righty-righty matchup, maybe in the playoffs, definitely not this early on.
That one's low, ball 4. How about that? An 0-2 count, and Vasilenic is able to work the walk, and that's going to bring up the 9-hitter, Mitzi Fukuda.
And you can already see Solazo creeping in at third. Castaldo's on the grass at first. It's a bunting situation here. Now, that being said, we've seen some not great bunts out of this team so far this game, but first and second down by 1 in the 7th. This is the ideal bunting situation as Castaldo's already crashing.
First pitch. It is bunted right in front of home plate, and it's going to bounce back to the backstop. Mitzi Fukuda did have an RBI single in his last at-bat, cashed in the only run of the game for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers.
And for anybody who's watching thinking, my goodness, bunting is so easy, well, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers are 0 for 3 on their last squares. Fukuda here, bunting it foul, and the last 2 were foul back as well. And they also had a pop-out to Solazo in foul territory earlier on in this game on an attempted bunt. So they have not been overly successful in getting guys over in that regard.
0-1. Bunting again, back out in front of home plate. That is going to advance the runners. Throw to first, and it's not dug out there by Castaldo. Oh, Julian Valdez just a bit casual as he threw that ball over to first base, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have bases loaded and nobody out for Spencer Marcus.
Yeah, and that's a play right there that you just got to know. We're going after the hitter. It doesn't matter where the other 2 runners are. You pick it up, you fire it. We've seen, how hard Valdez can throw his fastball, but you try and place it, and pitchers all the time do that. We see it overthrows, underthrows. How about just step and throw? You do it as your job, but it never seems as easy as that. And now you're back to the top of the lineup with the bases loaded. And we were talking about Valdez's last outing here last Sunday and how he almost escaped a similar situation with the bases loaded. Well, welcome back, 2.0.
Well, how about this for a defining moment for the first player signed in Chatham-Kent Barnstormer baseball history. That was Spencer Marcus. That was the player they wanted. He was a local. They knew he was an excellent athlete, playing Division I baseball, and here he is with a chance to give his team a lead, if not tie things up. This one gets away just a little bit from Justin Mara, but he's able to keep it close and keep the runners where they are.
And the other part to this, we talk about all the firsts that Chatham-Kent we're witnessing here in their first 2 games. Well, if they score a couple runs here, they'd put Ken Williams in line for the lead, which would be his first IBL, potentially his first IBL win. Saw Aiden Ryan get it yesterday.
1-0, swing and a miss. Good fastball there from Julian Valdez. Robert Mackey is at third base, Trent Vaselnik at second, Mitzi Fukuda at first base. Spencer Marcus trying to cash them in with Miles Norman looming on deck. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Julian Valdez is reaching back for a little extra, and he's pumped 2 fastballs by the Chatham-Kent leadoff hitter.
Do it again. Go right back to it. High fastball up and in. We've seen him swing and miss it 2 inside. Throw it again.
1-2. Fouled off, went right back to the fastball.
And that was just a last second swing by Marcus there to keep the at-bat going.
We're going with the fastball up. Here's the 1-2. He did get it up and it's fouled. Jordan Castaldo is having a look and it's just out of play down the right field line. Still 1-2.
And you look down the Barnstormers bullpen, Ken Williams' day all but done. Sam McKinley standing on the mound ready to come in at a moment's notice, hopefully with the lead.
Another 1-2 pitch. And a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3. That time, Julian Valdez cranked off a nasty breaking ball outside. And that's a big out, number 1. So step 1 of 3. And now he's thinking about getting step 2 and 3 done all at the same time if he can get a ground ball. Although Miles Norman does have good speed, he's the batter now. Here's the first pitch. Fastball, strike 1.
And you'd have to think that either way, this is the last batter for Valdez. Dan Battelle on deck, a lefty. Christides down in the bullpen. Adam Mara just gave the sign to Sam Green and Rob Butler in the dugout that he's good to go. A fresh lefty to face Battelle, the 3-hitter.
0-1, low and outside. Valdez looked like he lost his footing a bit as he delivered that pitch. If Valdez can get Norman here, it's going to present a big moment for Dean Christides early in his IBL career. Here's the 1-1. On the ground, and it's going to squeak towards the outfield. Throw to first, not in time. The throw is wild and goes down the first base line. 2 runs are going to come in to score, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have taken the lead. The ground ball that Julian Valdez was looking for, but it wasn't hitting the right spot. It'll probably go as an infield single and an error on the throw to allow the other run to come in to score. And Chatham-Kent is now knocking on the door of winning their first 2 games in their IBL history. So that's going to do it for Julian Valdez. Dean Christides coming into the game. We'll have more on him when we come back. last year working with some of the pitchers. We talked last year about your work with the Toronto Blue Jays and how that's helped you. Well, this year you're officially the pitching coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know you being a starter last year, you had some off days, and you go out and do your pitching coaching duties, but this year it's official. Can you kind of just tell us what your routine's going to be this year and how that's going to work out with you being the pitching coach?
Yeah, no, it's an extremely exciting opportunity, and really thankful from Rob and Jeff to kind of give me that opportunity and kind of step me up into this role officially. Like you mentioned, got kind of thrown into it last year and was doing it with the help of some veteran guys like Nags, Richie, Adam, guys that have been around the league for a while. Like you said, like just kind of being a starter and being the one available to be able to just have the time to do it during games when I wasn't pitching, whereas those guys have to be ready every game because they're relievers. Kind of led to it in conversations with Rob and Jeff, and like my experience in my day job were factors into me kind of wanting to pursue this and wanting to do it full on. The routine this year I think will be pretty similar to last year, like we saw, maybe a little more conversations with some of our younger guys, a lot, but our pitchers, we're a good group and we're a tight group and we're always interacting with each other and talking with each other, and I'm still going to continue to lean on the veterans and the guys that have been there and won championships. And we're just going to, try to be the best staff that we can be in the IBL.
All right, back here at Dominico Field, it's Dean Christidis who starts his day off with a pickoff throw to first base. Runner on first and third. Dan Battelle out of the game now. And it's going to be Jalen Butcher out of Chatham-Kent, Ontario, who's going to hit in his place. Chatham-Kent matching things up. They didn't want the lefty-lefty matchup with Dean Christidis. I don't think the Maple Leafs were expecting Chatham-Kent to go to the lefty here. I thought they might stick with Dan Battelle. He's played such good defense at third base and obviously a powerful hitter in this lineup as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprise. I mean, outside of that one throw that we saw last inning from Battelle, he's been very, very solid over there and has experience in the IBL.
Also, speaking of multi-sport athletes on Chatham-Kent, Jalen Butcher is one of those guys. He was a defensive lineman slash linebacker playing for the Windsor Fratmen. And now I guess transitioned to playing baseball, but a guy can play a little bit of football as well. So he takes a strike over the outside corner. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that you talk about the amount of multi-sport athletes that they have going for them. They've clearly found a niche in who they want on their team.
Jalen Butcher is as Chatham-Kent as it gets, as he takes low 2-2. Grew up, went to John McGregor High School in Chatham-Kent, and also played senior ball in Chatham-Kent as well, and his team ended up his hometown ended up getting the Barnstormers, so here he is playing for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. 2-2, fouled off. Big pitch here from Dean Christidis facing the righty Butcher. Here it comes. And it's fouled off. Jalen Butcher a bit out in front, but still gets a piece of it.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to shoot for that inside part of the plate there. First with his fastball and the slider as well. And the way that Butcher swung at the last two pitches makes me think that he's probably not the best hitting that inside corner. Just two defensive swings that he's fouled off.
Here's the 2-2. Swinging a pop-up. This one's going to drift into the outfield. It's Ryan Dos Santos who's camped under it. He makes the catch. Throw is coming home, and it's not in time. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers extend the lead to 2. It's now 4-2 for the visiting side.
Yeah, it's a good piece of hitting right there. Getting it to the outfield. Castaldo's having a chat with the second base ump. Mara got bumped into as the runner was crossing the plate there. But a good piece of hitting. He hit it deep enough, the runner was quick enough. We saw it reversed earlier on in the game when Ryan Dos Santos scored on a decently shallow line drive to center field. And
Christidis, a pickoff throw to first base. Boy, that was a deceptive move, wasn't it? Looked like he was coming home for sure. You know, I looked up some of those stats of Dean Christidis playing your team, and at the time was the Ryerson Rams, now TMU Bold. And he had 12 strikeouts in a game.
shocker.
In 2021 playing for U of T. Last played for Queen's University, but boy, was he ever good against you guys.
Yeah. Well, you know, in fairness, a lot of guys were good against us. Although I can say that as a pitcher who didn't have to hit.
You sure can. You sure can. Played 4 years or 5 years of university baseball, playing in the OUA circuit. But one of his more interesting baseball experiences came in Bulgaria, where he played the European Championship. That one's up and in, and did that hit Seth Strong? I think the home plate umpire said that was a foul ball. Well, they're letting him go to first base, so yeah, I guess that is a hit by pitch there on Strong. So that will bring up Braxton Hageth out of Glencoe, Ontario. And he has an opportunity to add on.
Yeah, U of T and Queens can pretty consistently in the OUA put out pretty good arms, both on the right side and left side. I mean, in my experience, 3 straight years, we couldn't escape the overwhelming power of U of T. We couldn't escape the divisional round.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, Dean Christidis didn't just play in that European Championship in Bulgaria. He won the most valuable player on his team in that championship as well, playing for Greece. Yeah, that 2021 season was his best year. As there's a swing and a miss, strike 2 from Braxton Hageth, had an ERA of 0.36. Not bad.
Not bad at all. They take us out in baseball, we get them back in hockey.
That's true. Swinging a foul ball. And obviously we're pulling for the same team here, because I went to Ryerson University as well.
Now that Christidis is pitching for the Leafs, we're all on good terms. But
yeah. Well, we did okay in that national championship run in hockey, didn't we?
We did. TMU went quite far.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dean Christidis comes in and limits the damage, although the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers do push home another run. They lead 4-2 over Toronto. back here at Dominico Field, where the Maple Leafs find themselves in a hole. They're down 4-2 against the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, who pushed home 3 runs in the top of the 7th inning. Bottom of the 7th now, and it's Ryan Dos Santos who's leading things off. Just a scoring note as well. It wasn't Braxton Hageth who flew out to end the inning. It was Lee Kucera who was at the dish. So he's into the game now. Dan Battelle and Braxton Hageth both out of the game. 1-1. Or 2-1, I should say. In there for a strike, 2-2.
Finally get to face a righty.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an abnormality, it feels like, the way the season's begun. Now that Sam McKinley's out there on the mound.
3 at-bats today for Ryan Dos Santos. He's walked and has a bunt single. Now he hits one hard on the ground to shortstop. Good play at short. Throw to first in time. And Torin Vaselnik with a nice play on a tough hop at shortstop.
Yeah, we've seen countless times shortstops get eaten up by tough hops on the left side of the infield, and that one bounced right back to his left. He had his glove well positioned there. He barely had to move, but he was expecting the ball about 1.5 feet to his right, and he just kept his glove over there, scooped it up, and gunned it across to get a speedy Dos Santos. It's a good first out. We've seen what Dos Santos can do on the bases with his wheels.
Greg Carrington steps to the dish and takes up high for a ball.
And it'll be interesting to see if there's a different approach that the Leafs take with the top of their lineup. Again, lefty heavy, starting with Vinicio. Now that they're down by 2, are they a bit more aggressive now that they're facing a righty on the mound?
This one's popped in the air, and it's foul to the left side. He's got a good shot of the hill there. Once again, the Maple Leafs fans showing up on a Sunday afternoon in numbers, setting what was probably close to what the home opener attendance was. People dotted throughout the outfield and all over the hill behind home plate. Here's the 1-1. I was hearing the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers had a pretty good start to their season too, as they got up near 1,000 people that showed up to the home opener. I think the attendance was somewhere around 950.
Yeah, there's been some really good crowds to begin the season across the IBL.
Here's the 2-2. Obviously, the Maple Leafs have a bit of an advantage over the other teams when it comes to pulling in attendance, because it's the only team in the IBL that has free admission to the ball games. And, you know, it's partially because that's just the way it's always been, but it's also, this isn't a stadium here at Dominico Field, as here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's outside, ball 4. Greg Carrington will head down to first base with 1 out. And the Maple Leafs have a runner on, and the run at the plate is the one that's important right now in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's Jose Vinicio, and he represents the tying run at the plate. So Sam McKinley is the new pitcher into the game for Chatham-Kent. And this one's hit on the ground. This could be 2. Flipped a second for 1, and it drops. And the runner Carrington is safe at second base as Robert Mackey bobbled the flip. Torin Vaselnik had no need to flip that ball to second base. He could have just stepped on the bag, as he was the guy who was closer to the base as well. He was the guy who had his momentum going to first base to turn it, and that might be a bit of a mental error on the infield there for Chatham-Kent, who's been very good defensively so far.
Yeah, there was no need at all, like you said, to flip that ball from Vaselnik. second baseman was ranging across, going to his right. He was going the wrong way. He would have had to do a backhanded off-balance throw to try and get Vinicio at first base, and that wasn't going to happen anyways. You take the sure out, and at least if you're Veselnik, you're coming across to your left, you're cutting in front of the base, you're stepping on it, and you can get some oomph behind that throw.
It's all the
no
hockey.
chance with the flip.
It's all the hockey players on Chatham-Kent. They're searching for an apple. Jordan Castaldo hits one high in the air. This one's pretty deep to left field. It's at the wall and it bangs off it. One run is going to come in to score for the Maple Leafs. Jose Vinicio stops at second, sliding in to second base with a double is Jordan Castaldo. And the Maple Leafs have something cooking here in the bottom of the seventh. They've closed the lead to just one, and they have second and third with just one out.
And that right there is a perfect piece of hit, and we're talking about we want to get Castaldo going. Amazing opposite field power. He sat on it, he waited, and he hit a line drive well over the left fielder's head. And that's the first time this game that the Barnstormers have really been bitten by playing their outfield so far in. They've gotten away with it with a couple times, with Castaldo lining out to center, a couple fly balls to right, but that one, playing your outfield that far in against a team like this, it doesn't matter how they're hitting. When you have the top of the lineup up, and you've seen, the stats are out there, you can see how far they power the ball out. That's a Castaldo classic, hitting over the left fielder's head. I'm kind of shocked it didn't carry further and go over the fence, but the outfield defense there, spotty at best from the Barnstormers, and the Leafs will take it all day long. A great piece of hitting from Castaldo, and it's one that we're used to seeing 100 times last year.
And Jordan Castaldo is at second base, and he's looking at that ball that hit the wall. That was about 2 feet from being a home run as well.
Yeah.
Although the fence is not particularly high out there in left field. Obviously, you'd have to jump to take it back, but that was a fly ball that made its way a bit further than people thought. This one's popped up by Marcus Connect. The only question is, it going to stay in play? To which the answer is no.
And it's a big spot here for Connect, playing his second game back with the Leafs, his first home game. Didn't have the best outing yesterday, went 0-for in his IBL debut in 2024, and you know, 2 ducks in the pond right here. It's exactly who you want to have up. Solazo on deck, he's already shown the power he can do. We know what Connect is capable of.
Here's the 0-1 to Marcus Connect. And he takes a strike, 0-2.
And with the speed on third base, the way the Barnstormers are positioning their infield, no pun intended, you got to connect with the ball here. Vinicio's probably going to score. Vinicio, excuse me, with his speed.
0-2. Outside, 1-2. Marcus Connect is looking for his first hit of the season with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Marcus Connect is put up massive numbers in the Inter-County Baseball League in previous years. 2022 hit .343 in the regular season with Toronto and had just 1 home run. As here's the 1-2 pitch. And he takes high, 2-2. And then the playoffs, he decided he was going to hit for power and hit 6 home runs in 13 games with 20 RBIs. That was a season that the Maple Leafs went all the way to the IBL Finals. They did it 2 years in a row in 2021 and 2022, in big part thanks to the bat of Marcus Connect. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Marcus Connect was part of a back-to-back-to-back home run train with him, John Solazo, and Jordan Castaldo, I remember, back in the 2022 season. I think he had a 3 home run game as well in one of those 2 years, so he's a guy with some power. 11 home runs back in 2021, 37 homers and 124 games in his IBL career. And he pops this one up, and it looks like this one's going to get out of play back behind home plate.
Putting up a good at-bat so far. A couple foul balls on tough pitches, 2 really, really good takes from Connect there. One on a curveball, one on a fastball in the outside corner. He's seeing the ball well. He doesn't have a hit yet, but he's seeing the ball well. Would not at all be shocked if he tries to take this one right in the right center field gap right here.
Full count, 1 out. Connect hits one in the air. This one's deep to left field. It's going back, it's at the wall, and the catch is made, but that will score the run. Great Jose Vinicio comes in to score, and the Maple Leafs have tied it up. And Marcus Connect just missed a 3-run home run.
And that's twice now we've seen this inning with the 2-3 hitters in the Leafs lineup. A combined total of what, maybe 4 feet from both those being home runs to left field. Sat on a curveball, he hung it, just got underneath it ever so slightly. Does the job though. And we are back to a tie ball game.
Lee Cusera was played much further back on that one. That's what allowed him to make the catch. That was hitting the exact same spot as the one by Jordan Castaldo. John Solazo at the dish. Would love to cash in another run. Heading the count 1-0. Way outside. 2-0. John Solazo had a solo home run back in the 4th inning. Just 10 hits combined between the two teams in the ball game. The Maple Leafs, 4 runs on 5 hits. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, 4 runs on 5 hits as well. 2-0 to Solazo. And that's a breaking ball. It looked like it slipped out of the hand a little bit of Sam McKinley as it was up and away.
Yeah, McKinley's losing it a bit here. You look down at the bullpen, Garrett Day is beginning a throw for the Barnstormers. He just gave the thumbs up to the bullpen catcher to get down and start live tossing.
Solazo takes a strike, 3-1. He was taking all the way.
I don't think anybody on the bench for the Leafs has to tell Jonathan Solazo that he has the green light whenever the heck he wants.
3-1. Had the green light and swung and missed. Counts full. Full count, 2 outs. Solazo trying to give the Maple Leafs the lead. McKinley trying to stop them right here. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big punch out for Sam McKinley, who limits the damage in the end, but ultimately gives up 2 runs to the Maple Leafs. A big RBI double by Jordan Castaldo, and then Marcus Connect cashes them in with a sac fly to left field. 4-4 here at Dominico Field between Toronto and Chatham-Kent. Well, the Maple Leafs have Dean Christinas back on the mound, facing Trent Sillett to to lead things off. Trent Sillett's 0 for 3 today, but had a good day yesterday. It was 2 for 4. Sillett, Mackey, and Veselnik for Chatham-Kent. This one's lined right to first base. Jordan Castaldo with a casual grab for out number 1.
That'll be the easiest play Castaldo has to make this year. Right to his chest.
Most likely, yeah.
Didn't have to move. Weak line drive.
Exit velocity of 58.7
Yeah.
on that one. Dean Christides.
Unconfirmed exit velocity.
I have a pretty good read on it. Dean Christides had an excellent outing last time out. Went 2 1/3 innings, didn't give up a run, struck out 1, gave up a couple hits, and allowed just 1 walk. That came against the Barrie Baycats in a game that the Toronto Maple Leafs looked like they had a shot at and then ended up losing it late. Here's a high fly ball. This one's deep to center field, and it is gone. Robert Mackey drills one to center field, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have taken the lead.
And we talked about this earlier. For whatever reason, Robert Mackey loves hitting against the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, the streak continues. Robert Mackey is putting together a pretty good day. He is 3 for 4 with a homer and 2 RBIs.
7 for 10 over the last 2 seasons against the Leafs.
So that's the first earned run that Dean Christides has allowed. And that was to dead center field.
Robert Mackey's going to make himself a lot of friends in Chatham-Kent the way he's playing so far. Gets the save yesterday in their inaugural game. Puts them ahead here late with a moonshot to center. That is how you win over some fans.
Yeah. So this is also the time when the depth of both teams, especially on the pitching side of things, is going to be tested. For both teams, it's their first time playing back-to-back games this season. The Maple Leafs obviously have a little more wear and tear on them as Chatham-Kent is playing just their 2nd game of the year. For Toronto, this is game number 4. They played on Thursday, had an off day Friday, and then in Guelph on Saturday, now here playing Chatham-Kent on Sunday. This is the hardest thing to do in the Inter-County Baseball League. When you get, sometimes they get 3 games in 3 days, and a lot of teams don't have the pitching depth to hold up over that stretch. Although Chatham-Kent is 6 outs away from winning this ball game. Only question is, do they have enough to get them to the finish line? This ball's hooked foul by the shortstop, Jordan Veselnik.
Yeah, and it's not making excuses. It's not trying to put blame on any specific place. It's just a matter of fact. The Leafs are down arms today. Angel Castro isn't here yet. Dan Procopio's not here yet. Dustin Richardson isn't available today. Sam Green likely isn't available today.
Yeah, Sam Green started the 2nd game of the year for the Maple Leafs, playing against the Barrie Baycats. He was excellent in that outing. Starting pitching has been really good for the Maple Leafs this season. It's just been about getting it to the finish line. And, you know, the bullpen hasn't been bad. They have a team ERA of just over 4 right now, do the Maple Leafs. As this one's hit to center field, not particularly deep, and it's going to be a tough play, and it's going to bounce off the glove of Ryan Dos Santos. He can't come up with it, and there's 2 runners on here for Chatham-Kent.
And this is just about the last guy you want to see coming to the plate here with 2 men on. As Sam Green makes the trot out to the mound, Spencer Marcus coming up to the plate. And Chris Nagorski beginning to throw in the Leafs bullpen, but you know, like we're saying, you got to deal with the cards that you're dealt. And right now, the Leafs are not dealt a whole lot. It's unfortunate. We all know completely that it will turn. You know, the law of averages. It's not going to stay this way, but the way it's been going here is not a whole lot of offense. Starting pitching's been dynamic. I think we can agree on that. Every starter so far has been very, very good. But like you were saying, it's getting those final 6, 9, 12 outs, getting it to the finish line, and that's not something they've come close. We saw that in Barrie, they came close. We saw it today. I mean, it's still close today. It's a very winnable game. But at some point or another, it's early on, but you got to start succeeding.
So Sam Green to the mound. He's back to the dugout now. Dean Christidis is going to try and get out of this. 2 runners on. It's a long season. I was talking to Jeff Lounsbury before the game. I asked if he's worried at all about it. He said no, not at all. He's happy with the way the pitching has gone. He knows the bats are going to come around. As here's the 0-1. This one's hitting the air. This one's down the line. And the catch, oh, it's not. It bangs off the glove of Ryan DeSantos in the outfield, although no one's going to come home as the runner at second base was tagging. So Torrin Veselnik's going to come to third base, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have bases loaded, nobody out, although that's a big break for Toronto with nobody coming in to score. The Dean Christidis and the Maple Leafs still have a chance to get out of this.
And that'll do it for Christidis. Nagorski throws his last warm-up pitch. Butler's out to the mound. And all that said, I don't think that, I mean, Chatham-Kent has had a couple bloopy hits here and there. They've got a couple walks, a couple hit by pitches throughout this game. It's the way it goes sometimes, but you know, you're right. It's a very lucky break for them that Chatham-Kent isn't up by more than 1 right now on that last fly ball, but they're going to need some big outs here from Chris Nagorski.
Well, I had a chance to talk to Chris Nagorski before the season about what it would mean to him to win an IBL championship. Here's Nagorski.
Tell me a little bit about those teams. Was there something about those Barrie Baycats teams, especially when you'd won 5 in a row, that kind of separated you guys from everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, it's the group of guys that get put together for that, and the continuity year in and year out that really takes the team to another level. Obviously, talented baseball players has an effect, and we had some good baseball players over those years. But if you have a core group of guys that stick together, they like playing together, they hang out off the field, they want to see each other succeed. Those are the types of teams that make it far in the playoffs. And then you sprinkle in some really good baseball players, and it takes a team to that next level. So really, it's about the guys. It's about support, from the ownership and the fans, and just that energy that gets brought to the field every single day really turns into something special when it gets put all together.
All right, Chris Nagorski trying to limit some of the damage here for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and trying to save some of those runs for his teammate Dean Christidis as well. The bases are juiced. There's one away, and Nagorski would love a ground ball, and it's Miles Norman at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Outside, ball 1. Chris Nagorski pitched in the Maple Leafs home opener. Gave up a couple of runs. That was against the London Majors. So looking to get things back on track here against Chatham-Kent, and once again is coming into a high leverage situation. Nagorski started his career with the Guelph Royals, then went to the Barrie Baycats for many seasons, and now here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He delivers outside, ball 3. There's nowhere to put Miles Norman. Jalen Butcher, who came in as a pinch hitter is on deck. Nagorski trying to find the strike zone here. Here's the 3-0. In there for a strike, 3-1.
After Nagorski, the only two guys left in that bullpen, per the lineup card that we were given, are Adam Mara and Max Gleno. Lefty and a righty.
It's the 3-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 3-2. Boy, nerves of steel on those last two pitches from Chris Nagorski, but the job's not done. He's going to have to find the zone again. Full count. 1 out. Norman at the plate. Nagorski. The pitch. Fouled off. What a battle here by Miles Norman. Now look at all the fans finding some shade there down the right field line.
It is an absolutely gorgeous day for a ball game here at Christie Pitts. The
Yeah, it
sun
is.
is out, like you mentioned, big turnout, big crowd, tight game. One the Leafs are hoping to come back on and win.
Another pressure 3-2 pitch. And it's high, ball 4. The run comes in to score. And Chatham-Kent leads by 2.
A close pitch, top of the zone. Nags obviously wanted to get it. Wasn't given to him, and tough all the way around.
So this is the second at-bat for Jalen Butcher. He takes low, ball 1. Jalen Butcher entered the game for Dan Battelle back in the 6th inning.
And Nagorski is used to situations like this. Like you mentioned, he was a closer with the Baycats for a long time. He's been in more tough situations and safe situations than we can imagine, but he's got to bear down right here.
Finds the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jalen Butcher grew up playing minor baseball in Chatham-Kent, now here with the Barnstormers. That one's over the outside corner for a strike. It's 2-2. These are important runs on the board right now for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. If Jalen Butcher can find a way to tack one more on, Chatham's looking pretty good with a 3-run lead and 6 outs to get.
Nobody throwing anymore in the Barnstormers bullpen leads me to think that McKinley will likely start next inning. We saw Garrett Day down there tossing, but he's since stopped.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. That's a big K there for Chris Nagorski.
A massive out right there. Not in just the sense of keeping the game close and, you know, minimizing the damage, but even in terms of Nagorski, you know, like we saw him pitch last Sunday. He struggled mightily at the end of the game a week ago, and, you know, he's coming to a very tough spot here, and strikeouts can do a lot of good for a pitcher's well-being out there.
Pitch is up high, ball 1 from Nagorski. The Guelph Royals are putting a beating on the Kitchener Panthers right now. It's now 17-6. There's a swing and a miss, strike 1.
Yeah, Kitchener's off to a tough start as well.
Yeah.
If they lose today, and they likely will, down 11, start the season 0-3, and they have had a really tough go of it. And they have some good ball players on that team.
Here's a ground ball to first base. Jordan Castaldo eats it up, waits for the runner at first base, and that'll do it. Chris Nagorski comes in, allows 1 run to sneak home on a walk. So Chatham-Kent extends the lead to 2, trying to win their first 2 games. In the IBL, they lead 6-4 over Toronto.
Yep.
Justin Mara at the plate. He's going to face Sam McKinley. He's out for another inning of work. McKinley's given up 2 runs, one of them earned over 1 inning. Kenny Williams was excellent for Chatham-Kent in this one today. Gave up 4 hits over 6 innings, 2 runs, both of them earned. 2 runs, both of them earned, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts over that stretch.
A little bit of a delay starting the inning. Charlie Towers grabs that batting helmet and he'll trudge on down to first base to coach.
Yeah, so we can call that position number 4 for Charlie Towers now this season. He's played in left field and he's played a couple positions on the infield as well.
Super utility player in the making.
Yeah.
Between Castaldo and Greeny being assistant coaches, and now Towers, the rookie, coaching first. Butler's getting some help.
Yeah. Here's the 1-0, smash towards center field, but it's on a line and it's going to hang up out there for Miles Norman, who makes the catch. 1 away. I talked to Charlie Towers before the game, and I asked, is it kind of challenging to play so many different positions, especially playing the outfield last game? That's something he hadn't done, and he said, I don't care, I just like being in the lineup. And that's the exact attitude of what Maple Leafs want to see from some of these guys. Charlie Towers is going to end up being a valuable player, I think, in this Maple Leafs lineup. He's such a good defender on the infield. Jesse Hodges gets hit with that pitch, and he will head down to first base, and Jesse Hodges is taking a bit of a slow walk down there.
Obviously, it goes without saying, an accidental fastball that drills him. Doesn't mean it makes it feel any better, but at this point in the game. And another thought on Charlie Towers as well. You know, he's gotten some playing time so far this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he got one of the Leafs' 2 hits yesterday. He had a double along with Ryan Dos Santos.
Yeah. That was his first hit as a Maple Leaf.
First hit as a Maple Leaf. He's looked good in the limited time that he's been out there, and he will have his moments. He will get his shot.
If you hit and play good defense, it's going to be hard to stay out of the lineup. That one goes over the head of Dan Mara.
And that just slipped right out of the hand, a curveball out of McKinley. And I mean, this is what you talk about, it being such a young team that, you know, it's guys get, you know, rattled out there. Obviously, didn't try to hit Hodges, isn't trying to throw over the head of Mara.
That was way outside, and might be an early developing story here on the mound. Sam McKinley and this is a smart play here. Pitching coach is gonna come out and chat with McKinley. You know, Jesse Hodges is a guy too, right? That's one of the last guys you want to hit, a guy with a really good baseball pedigree. He's into the coaching now, but you know, Team Canada experience of playing in the minor leagues, a Chicago Cubs prospect.
Yeah.
Not the guy you want to plunk.
No.
But it's gonna happen.
It is gonna happen. And, you know, people get overwhelmed by the moment. You know, it happens. A young team, especially guys making their first starts. We saw, you know, Max Leno when he made his first outing. He walked 4 guys. You know,
I still think he's going to be an effective pitcher. For
absolutely.
the Maple Leafs this season.
He was effective with Queens. I'm sure McKinley's gonna settle in his next couple outings too. It happens.
Here's the 2-0, and there for a strike.
And that's why you have pitching coaches on your team to go out there and get your pitchers to calm down and throw strikes.
High chopper to third base. Throw to first in time to get the out. That's Jalen Butcher, who came into the game for Dan Battelle. Makes a good play on that high chopper from Dan Mara, and this brings maybe the hottest hitter right now on the Maple Leafs, Ryan Dos Santos, to the plate.
And that's just a fantastic read there by Butcher at third base. It was a high bouncer, and if he had let that one come down, there was not a shot that he was going to get Mara at first base. He read it well, played the high bounce, threw a strike over to first. Looking very comfortable since taking over for Battelle. A great play there.
Ryan Dos Santos' game plan to start the season has been hunting fastballs. And he gets one there over the outside corner, but if Ryan Dos Santos gets a fastball, which he thinks he can hit, which by the head shakes, I don't think he thought that one was in the zone, he will hit that ball into the outfield. He's been fantastic at going the other way this season. That one's outside. And I think Ryan Dos Santos would have lost it if that one was called a strike over the outside corner.
It was a Dos Santos double last Sunday that originally tied up the game against London.
Yeah, made the score 5-5. Maple Leafs just couldn't quite hold on to the win after they gave up a couple runs in the top of the 9th inning. Ended up losing that game 7-5.
And what this inning also does is it'll allow for the top of the lineup to have another stretch and come back up in the bottom of the 9th, regardless of the score. The turnover has been really good today.
Inside for a ball. That pitch was close, but Sam McKinley missed to the opposite side of the plate as the catcher Fukuda was set up outside. Mitzi Fukuda has been excellent behind the dish today. Looks like he's got a great throwing arm from behind home plate for Chatham-Kent. Swing and a miss on the 3-1 pitch, and the count runs full.
Dos Santos was trying to tie the game there on that swing.
When you got a good throwing catcher, I think Mitzi Fukuda is going to catch some people off guard with the arm that he's got behind the plate. That's outside ball 4. Mitzi Fukuda is certainly not the biggest guy behind home plate, but boy, can he throw it. Already threw out Jose Vinicio at third base today. That's something that the Maple Leafs have had the luxury of over the last several years, having Justin Mara behind the plate. He's so good defensively, and maybe even more valuable with the bat. Won an MVP in the IBL back in 2017. And I talked to Justin last season, and he said, you know, the MVP, it's great, but to win a championship here with his 3 brothers, he said that would mean more than any award or MVP that he's ever got. This one's fouled back by Greg Carrington, so the count's 1-1. All 3 Mora brothers, I know, have a very special connection to your team. It's, you know, it's not every day where you see your brother have a ton of success in the minor leagues, get drafted by the Chicago Cubs, and all 3 brothers end up playing together here with the Toronto Maple Leafs. 1-1. It's upstairs, 2-1, and they've been a staple of this Maple Leafs organization over the last few years as well.
Yeah, there's been a couple groups of brothers that have played. We just saw Jacob Cush start the other day in the Guelph Royals home opener against the Leafs. He was the 3rd Cush brother to play for the Guelph Royals squad over various years.
This one's way outside to Greg Carrington, so the count runs to 3-1. Now, we haven't seen it yet, but Greg Carrington is going to do some pitching for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. Been training at the place he works in the off-season at BDG. Doing some pitching as he swings and misses. The count's now 3-2. And if he can be an arm that's serviceable out of the bullpen for the Maple Leafs, that just adds to the depth. We know that's so important in the Intercounty Baseball League. Greg Carrington saying, you know, he wants to just do whatever he can to have the most value to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's the way to do it right there. Here's a ground ball. The Maple Leafs were going, so they're gonna, as this one's dropped at second base, throw to first in time to get the out. I was gonna say the double play, but there was 2 away, so it doesn't matter. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers get out of trouble anyway on the ground out there to Greg Carrington. How about the bounce back from Sam McKinley? Hits a batter in the inning, but gets out of it nicely, and the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers are gonna take a 2-run lead to the 9th inning. Top of the ninth inning, Chris Nagorski back on the mound for Toronto. Lee Kuchera is going to lead things off for Chatham-Kent. Kuchera is 0 for 1, struck out in his first at-bat as he came in for Braxton Haggith a couple innings ago. A 1. Inside 1-1. Chris Nagorski came in with the bases loaded and 1 out, walked in a run, and then got out of the inning. So definitely did a good job to keep the lead where it is, as there's a line shot right back to Jose Vinicio, who's one of the more sure-handed players in the Inter-County Baseball League. And he gets the first out. That brings Trent Sillett to the plate, native of London, Ontario. And Sillett takes a strike. You know, Chatham-Kent having so many local players in the lineup, that's a really good thing. As that pitch is out, I caught the outside corner actually, it's 0-2. The Maple Leafs lost Garrett Takamatsu this season as he went to the Guelph Royals, and nothing other than it was just closer for him to get to, and that's a big thing in the Inter-County Baseball League, right? People have daytime jobs. Maybe some people don't work on Sundays, but you got to make his schedule work with the baseball. Ground ball to third base. John Solazo whips it to first, right on the money. 2 away.
Yeah, and one of the big discussions when, you know, the chatter was going on about, okay, Chatham-Kent's coming to the league, is, you know, it's such a far drive, right, for players that you're talking about, have day jobs, have to drive places. You know, how much of a commitment are other teams going to be able to make in terms of getting large rosters out to these spots? And with Chatham-Kent, it's not a problem. You have a young roster, a roster that's hungry to play, a bunch of guys that are fighting for field time and pitching time, as we've seen. They've had a successful first 2 days in the league. It's very enjoyable to watch.
Their season was supposed to start against the Brantford Red Sox in Brantford. That game got rained out, so how fitting. Their first game is their home opener, and that's played at Chatham-Kent. That pitch is well outside. Counts now 2-1 on Maple Leaf killer Robert Mackey.
Yeah, I've seen just about enough of this guy.
Chatham-Kent's well equipped though. I can see they got a bus out in center field that brought all the players to the game today. That one hits Mackey. He's gonna head down to first base.
That's not what I meant when I said I've seen enough of this guy.
Yeah.
He is an on-base machine.
Yeah,
it's the wildest thing. It reminds me of how Kyle Higashioka just destroys the Blue Jays every time he hits against him, but doesn't really do it against anyone else.
Yeah, it's not the biggest problem for the Jays right now.
No. Although they did win today.
What was the score?
5-2 was the final score, I believe. Manoa, 7 shutout innings.
Maple Leafs were doing some advertising earlier in the season to advertise himself as the second best team in Toronto.
Yeah, well, they certainly have the opportunity to overcome that and become the first best team, but the first best team.
Maybe.
I should say just the best team.
Right now they're firmly in that number 2 spot.
They are, well, I don't know if I'd even say firmly the way the Blue Jays are playing, but yeah, the outreach and the support of the Leafs early on this season. They had a couple radio ads that I heard with Rob Butler speaking.
Yeah.
Posters. And it's worked. They've had 2 massive turnouts here in the first 2 home games of the regular season. 19 more after this. Plus the playoffs, of course. And it's been a very, very, very fun start to what should be a great year. As we look down at the Leafs bullpen, Adam Mara begins to toss.
So he'll most likely get the 9th inning.
Well, maybe the 10th inning. It is the 9th inning.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, the 10th inning if they get there. Chatham-Kent looking to add on, but there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Oh, good inning for Chris Nagorski. Allows one runner to reach base via hit by pitch, and then gets a strikeout of the shortstop, Vaselnik, to end the inning. To the bottom of the 9th we go. Last chance for the Maple Leafs coming up. Well, the Maple Leafs have it cut out just how they want it. 1-2-3 to lead off the bottom of the 9th inning, but they need a couple of runs, and they're going to face Garrett Day, who takes the mound for the first time in a Chatham-Kent Barnstormer uniform, and his first pitch is in there for strike 1. Garrett Day came to Chatham-Kent after playing senior baseball for the Diamonds, senior AAA. And he's excited to see how his stuff plays in the Intercounty Baseball League as Vinicio fouls it off, and he's off to a great start. It's 0-2.
Yeah, a bit of a sidewinding righty, a funky look. Tall, lanky guy out there on the mound. Very different from the first two arms that the Leafs have seen today.
One of the more recent signings for Chatham-Kent, too. They signed him in late April. Vinicio hits a high chopper to third base. Good play and a throw to first in time to get out number 1. And ever since coming to the game, Jalen Butcher has made a couple nice plays at third base.
I wonder if Vinicio is 100% right now, because he was not gunning it down the first baseline like we've seen. About halfway up the line, he kind of just took his foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, that's out of the ordinary for Jose Vinicio,
Yeah.
and if he's not 100%, that is a monumental loss.
Yeah.
For the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, you certainly hope that it was a misread, and he thought it was more of a surefire out than it was, but that was
He
an
has
odd play.
He has been throwing his body around today. He made an excellent diving play at shortstop. Castaldo takes a strike. Look, the Maple Leafs aren't seeing Garrett Day very well on the mound. For Chatham-Kent, that delivery might be a little bit deceptive to look at.
Catalin Morin lightly tossing down in the Barnstormers bullpen just in case. The big lefty.
1-1 is just outside.
Yeah, Day's not a hard thrower, but he's been placing it well so far. He's been mixing his pitches. Obviously got Vinicio off balance there. We saw Castaldo not seen him too well, but he's put a couple good swings on the ball today.
2-1. That one's hit on the ground. Gobbled up at second base by Robert Mackey. 2 away. The Maple Leafs are down to their final out, and it comes to the plate in the form of Marcus Connect. What a start for Garrett Day, getting a couple soft ground outs. Marcus Connect will just try and get on base and see if John Solazo can't do something. This is not a good matchup for Marcus Connect with the sidewinding righty facing the righty batter in Connect. Although you'd think this would be a really good matchup for John Solazo if he can get on. A lot of Garrett Day's pitches sink down in the strike zone. John Solazo loves the ball down. Marcus Connect has got to get on base first. That one goes behind him.
Slipped right out of the hand of Garrett Day.
So 2 balls and no strikes on Connect.
Leafs hoping for a little bit of 2-out magic here to quash their 3-game losing streak to start the year.
Marcus Connect hits it on the ground. What a big hop for Jalen Butcher. He scoops it up, and it's picked at first base by Trent Sillett. How about the defense of Jalen Butcher at third base? Excellent play on 2 of the outs in the 9th inning. And how about the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers? They win their first game. They're tied for first place right now in the Inter-County Baseball League. They're 2-0, and they beat the Maple Leafs 6-4.
Yeah, it's more of the same with the Maple Leafs. It's not hitting, not getting outs out of your bullpen. It's been the same story for 4 straight games now. It's been a very, very tough slide. There's not much you can say really. There's not a lot of execution in their game right now. We saw some good moments, guys getting on base, but they're 0-4, and it's only a matter of time before feeling good has got to start looking good, and they're gonna try and pick it up this Wednesday when we're back here at Christie Pitts.
And they will be
tough game.
They'll be taking on the Kitchener Panthers, who have been off to a slow start as well. 2 of the bright spots in the lineup today were on each side of the pitching. Ken Williams, excellent. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, a couple earned runs, and the Maple Leafs will be happy with what they got from Jesse Hodges, who went through 4 innings today, gave up just 1 hit, struck out 4, and did not give up an earned run. The final score, Chatham-Kent 6, the Toronto Maple Leafs 4. Thanks for tuning in here on this Sunday afternoon.